Recording.
Hi, my name is Kyle Salini.
And I'm Dylan Foley.
We are Fleming Forestry Techs, and we are here to discuss and address some of the most common lumber terms.
So to start off, this is just a regular piece of sawn lumber. This is your face, which shows the grain. This is your edge and your end grain.
Next, we'd like to talk about a board foot. The board foot is measured based on the board, so it is 12 inches by 12 inches by 1 inch thick, not 11 inches, not 12 and a half inches, 12 inches by 12 by an inch thick. Next, I'd like to talk about a cubic meter of wood. So a cubic meter of wood is 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. So to give you an example of that would be a telephone pole. It's the same as 1 cubic meter of wood.
So when it comes to defects in your lumber, this is an example of a defect, which is just decay. So when you're getting this wood appraised or scaled, this would be taken out of the price of the wood. So this would really decrease your value to have a defect like that. You can have another defect as a conk or a canker of any kind. So cupping is defect in your dried lumber. So this is just, this lumber hasn't been dried properly, and as a result it's cupped. And you can see the difference for that is this piece is very unstable on the table, and this properly dried and properly cut, it's completely stable on the table. So the difference between heartwood and sapwood are the two major parts of a piece of wood. The heartwood is the inner part, which is the dead wood basically, and the sapwood is the outer part, which is the lighter living wood. The outer part is the only living part of the tree, and the inside is just the dead wood basically.
Next, we'd like to talk about what people mean when they say 4/4. What 4/4 is once your lumber has gone through the mill, you get rough cut boards. So 4/4 would be what is going to be a 1 inch board, but it's actually about 1 inch and 3/16. That gives the manufacturers 3/16 of an inch to plane down the board and get it down to its finished product. So say a 2 inch board, people would call it 8/4, or 1.5 inches would be 6/4. Next, we'd like to talk about quarter sawn lumber. So that's when you have your log when it goes in to get sawn up. Quarter sawn is when they cut the log down into quarters and then take the boards out of each quarter, so you get really nice end grain. It's a more expensive board, but the final product is a lot nicer.
The difference between quarter sawn and plain sawn is with plain sawn, instead of cutting it into X's and wasting your edge pieces, with plain sawn you're just running the log through the mill continuously and just sawing off as much salvageable lumber as possible. So it's a much more efficient way to do it, but you don't get the high class, better looking wood that you do with quarter sawn.
Next, we'd like to talk about late wood and early wood. So as you can see, the growth rings from each year on this log. The really dark rings are from the late wood, which is later in the season, so it's a slower growing time, compared to the lighter rays is from the early wood, so it's a longer season and a longer time for the tree to grow with nice warm days. So this wraps up our video. As we said, we are forestry technicians from Fleming College. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Fucking get it.